So you have a fountain pen and you're ready to change out ink or put it away, but you're not quite sure how. In today's video, I'm going to show you 2 ways to clean out your pens with a quick and easy flush, which is great for ink color changes and a little bit of a longer process for an extra gunked up or dried out pen. Let's head to the top down and get cleaning. All of the items in today's video will be linked in the descriptions for you down below. I have 2 fountain pens today. Both of these are Cauresul fountain pens. These are from Ferris press, and they have a piston converter. What you do is you twist the back of their converter, and that's what draws the ink up inside of the pen. Now, both of these pens had Poison Envy fountain pen ink in them, which is a beautiful fountain pen ink that has a sheen as well as a shimmer to it. I mean, it has some of that glitter inside of there. Our first process is going to be a warm water flush. It's a really easy way to clean out your pen. For this, we're going to need 2 different containers. We have one glass container here that's filled with hot tap water, and then another one that's going to be empty. Whenever I'm cleaning out my pens, I also like to put something down to protect the surface that I'm working on top of, and also to wipe off my pen and inks if I need to. So I have a nice reusable microfiber cloth here that I like to use. If you want, you can also use paper towel if you don't have this. It works absolutely just fine. If your pen still has a lot of ink in it, you can empty that into a small vial to save for later, or you can empty it into the other container that we have here where all of the water and ink is going to go into as we're cleaning out our pen. But if your pen doesn't have a lot of ink in it, you don't have to worry about that step. Next, we're going to go ahead and disassemble our pen. You're going to unscrew or uncap the top, and then you're going to go ahead and unscrew the barrel from your fountain pen as well. During this process, you're going to keep your converter attached to your pen. You're going to put your pen over top of the empty container, and you're going to go ahead and twist that converter until the piston is all the way down. Next, we're going to go ahead and put our pen inside of the warm water. Some of the ink is going to start to come out, and then we're going to twist that piston up until water comes into the pen cartridge. Then we'll go ahead and we're going to put our pen back over top of where we had that empty one, and we're going to go ahead and twist that back down, and you'll start to see ink and the water start to come out of your pen. You're going to repeat this process until the water coming into the converter starts to get a little bit more clear. I like to change my warm water container at least once during this first process here. Some ink is going to get into that water while we're cleaning things out. We want to make sure that we're getting the most clear water in, especially towards the end of this process. The last step that I'm going to do is actually fill another container with a paper towel, and then I'm going to go ahead and take my pen with the nib side down, and I'm going to place that right on top of there, and it's going to sit inside of this glass from anywhere between 10 to 20 minutes. This is going to help draw out any extra water that might still be inside of your pen's feed. That way when you refill it and then you try to write with it, it's not going to be watery to start with. If you still really want to make sure that your ink feed is absolutely as clean as it can be, the first thing you can do is you can take your nib and you can run this underneath some warm water in your sink. Just let the water flow through it for a few minutes, and that'll really help get out a lot of the ink that's still inside the feed. Another option is using a bulb syringe or another type of fountain pen cleaning tool. Similar to running the pen underwater, this is just going to give extra force pushing ink and water through your pen feed. Once you're done cleaning out your pen, now you can go ahead and assemble everything back together. If you are ready to put a new ink inside of here, you can dip your pen right inside of the ink and draw it up with your piston. Or if you're putting your pen away, you're not going to be using it anytime soon, it's great to clean out your pen first before storing it away. That way it's ready for you when you're ready to go next time you pick it up. Now for a deeper clean, maybe you have a pen that you've been using for a while, or a pen that is really gunked up from heavy shimmers, or maybe it's totally dried out. What we're going to be doing is introducing you to Fountain Pen Flush Cleaner. Now this is one that I got off of Amazon. This is from Ultimate Pen Polish. It has awesome reviews, and it comes with everything that you need to really flush out your pen. It has a pen flush concentrate that we're going to be using, and a nib safe flush tube here. You'll see that it has a little bit of a pointed edge where your pen can sit inside of a tube like this safely. For this deeper clean process, you're going to need another container of hot tap water, and then you're going to go ahead and use your flushing tube here, and we're going to fill this up to 15 milliliters with the hot water. We're going to go ahead and shake up the flush concentrate, and then we're going to put 2 drops inside this container. Next, we're going to go ahead and disassemble our pen, taking off the cap and then unscrewing the back end of this. As a reminder, if there's any extra ink inside of your pen, you're going to want to empty that out into a small vial or dispose of it into an empty ink container. Next thing we're going to do is we're actually going to take our pen and we're going to go ahead and put it into the warm water container that we have. It's going to do 2 things for us. It's going to warm up the nib, and it's also going to loosen up any dried ink that might be inside of your pen as well. We can now remove the pen from the warm water. It only has to stay in there for a minute or 2. Then we're going to go ahead and place the pen into the tube. We're going to draw up some of this fluid that has the cleaner in it, and then we're going to let this sit for about 5 minutes. After 5 minutes is up, we're going to go ahead and still keep the pen inside the tube, but we're going to go ahead and we're going to push all of that fluid out. And then one more time, we're going to go ahead and draw the fluid up from inside of the tube. and we're gonna let it rest for another few minutes. After about 2 to 5 minutes, we're gonna go ahead and push all of that fluid back out into your tube. Now we're gonna go ahead and rinse this out and fill it up with some more warm water. If you find that using the tube is a little cumbersome, sometimes it can be, you can always just use your regular glass like we used for the regular flush, because that's what we're going to do again at this point now. The whole purpose of the wash and that deep cleaning is just to loosen up anything that might be inside of that pen, any gunk that might be building up, any extra dry ink that might be inside of there. Now we're going back to that original method, is that we're just going to go ahead and we're going to flush out the rest of this pen. And what we're going to be looking for is nice clear water coming up into our pen converter. In the same process as before, we're going to go ahead and we're going to sit our pen inside of a container with the paper towel inside of it to help pull out any extra moisture. If you want to speed up the process a little bit, you can use your bulb syringe and just push air through your pen instead of water. Let me know down in the comments if this process was helpful for you, and if you want to know anything else about fountain pens or fountain pen maintenance, and if you like fountain pens, here's a whole playlist of fountain pens I've reviewed.